Okay, we're waiting to come live. So hang on one
Right.
second.
Now it's moving.
Okay, I'll take over. Just one sec.
Um,
Hi. Okay, we're waiting to come live. Hi, everybody. This is Steve at Little Treasury Jewelers. Welcome to our live stream. I've been off the air for a little bit now and hopefully back in the groove a bit. We've been extremely busy, particularly around the 5 o'clock time, and we've rejiggered our hours so that we're now closing at 6 p.m. So we'll have a little more time to have join the show and get going here. So today we have a special guest. We're going to talk about NOMOS watches, NOMOS Glashütte, and I'm going to bring in Martina Etti and hopefully maximize her image here. Let's see if we can do that. Whoop. Martina, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, now I just have to get your get you maximized here and get me back in my little box. So let's see how we're going to do that. Nope.
Well, just a sec. I think it was my fault. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
Now,
there you
now
are.
you should see me.
Okay, we're good now, I think. Hi, Martina. You're coming to us from Berlin. Is that correct?
That's correct, Steve.
Okay. So, everyone, this is Martina Etti. She is the head of international sales for NOMOS. I've known her since 2014 when I wandered into their pavilion in Baselworld and met Martina and became familiar with the brand. And we've been dealers ever since, and it's been a very positive experience. And I see that we have a few people joining us. We have Lance Loengart, first aboard, Stig from Denmark, I believe, Carlos from Panama, or maybe you're back from your travels, and Kyle from California, Blue, Eduardo. So a good crowd showing up. So hi to all of you. So let's get going and talk a little bit more about Nomos and uh, what's going on with that brand. So Martina, tell us a little bit about the beginnings of Nomos, if you will. Let me get you on the picture. I'm sorry that I've neglected to get you with the scene. So there you are. Hi. Okay. So what are the origins of Nomos, the company, and where is it located? A little bit of background.
Yeah, I tend to say in Glashütte we have all the same age. It's because Glashütte was reborn as a city for fine watchmaking after the fall of the wall, which was in 1990.
Mm-hmm.
So every brand you find now in Glashütte was founded after the fall of the wall. And Nomos was founded right 1990 by a gentleman called Roland Schwertner. Our owner and founder is still on board. And yeah, he has been working in the watch industry until then, more or less as an IT expert, but was fascinated by the history of this little town, and yeah, went there. He even found relatives in Glashütte, and yeah, there were big things to do. You can imagine after 40 years of communism, privatizing all the big states companies. There was also a big watch company in Glashütte, which then was privatized. and is now one of our neighbors. But NOMOS was built from the scratch, just with a retired watchmaker and a freelance designer, 3 people, and actually we were the first ones to have mechanical luxury watches on the market with the destination Glashütte on the dial after the fall of the wall. And that was in '92, the first 4 models.
Okay, I didn't realize that you were the first. So, like Glashütte is a tiny little town, is that correct? What is it, 10,000 people or something like that?
Absolutely. It's even less. It's 5,000, and then there are a few villages around. I could even show you a picture if you want to.
Well, go ahead. And how many watch companies? 11? So 10, 11?
I think at the time being, we are 8 or 9.
Uh-huh.
So the big 3 are Lange & Söhne, Glashütte Original, and NOMOS. And those are also manufacturers, so building their own in-house movements.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share screen for a second and show you. Can you see it?
No, not. I'm not seeing it yet.
So now
I'm glad I'm not the only technologically challenged person. I always have a little foul up everything.
So you see the screen now?
I don't.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Let me just. I told Skype to share, but maybe I. Now?
There you are. Okay. So it's in a little valley, it looks like. And
so it's surrounded. It's surrounded by woods.
we're going all over the place now.
And you see, and all the bigger buildings you see is watchmaking.
Wow. Okay. So watchmaking owns the town.
40 kilometers in this direction is Dresden, and an hour in the other direction is Prague.
Oh, okay. Okay, it looks beautiful. Beautiful. I'd like to visit someday. So let's look at a watch, and this is sort of why we're all here. And I just brought up a picture of what? Can you see this yet? The 175, the 41 millimeter piece. Should be on the screen now. Are you seeing that?
Now I can see it.
Ah, okay. So tell us about, this is one of the novelties of this year, and why don't you tell us what this is about?
Yeah, just launched last week, July 15, is a set of 3 watches from our model family Ludwig to commemorate this year's 175th birthday of Glashütte watchmaking. So it was in 1845 that a gentleman called Lange founded the watch industry in Glashütte, pocket watch time, of course. And this year we celebrate, Glashütte watchmaking for 175 years. So we chose the most classical model, as you can see, with the Roman numerals and the rounded case, a bit reminding to pocket watch case, also the rounded crown. You see the traditional railway miniature, this should be the DOW 6101, our super slim automatic caliber. We call our super slim automatic standard Neomatic for new automatic. Every watch in this series, so all 3 watches limited to 175 pieces to commemorate the jubilee, and also every single movement is individually numbered. But what is special with this watch, look at the date window next to the crown. We count the date with Roman numerals in this watch as well. We can afford, because we can display the date quite big. You see in the picture there the 24th, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23rd, today. It should be today. So, okay, someone asked, what's the lug to lug?
Yeah, you're right.
Someone asked, what's the lug to lug length in that? Is that in your head by any chance?
I can only tell you it's 41 millimeters diameter.
Right.
So the lugs are relatively short with Ludwig. We have models where they are much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 41 millimeter.
Right. So Geepu, who asked that, I'll post that later in a comment when I have a chance to measure it to see how long that is. So there are three pieces in this collection. This is the 41. There's also a 39, which I also have here. And I'll put that up. And there's a 35 millimeter piece, which we just sold, so I don't have it right here in stock right now. I may see if I can get another copy, but I believe you're probably all sold out already with just 175.
What is also special with this watch to celebrate pocket watch times is the enamel-like lacquer on the dial and the feuille-shaped
leaf
hands,
yeah.
which we normally don't use, the traditional hands. So it's very, very good and precise to read. And
yeah, beautiful piece.
So that's the 39 millimeter Neomatic,
mm-hmm.
without date, and yeah, super slim movement, very precise. They are regulated in 6 positions to chronometer standards. Just this set. I mean, our watches are normally very precise, but for this Jubilee edition, we regulated to chronometer standards. They are not certified, but
they are accurate to that. Okay, cool.
You can, sorry, Steve, I didn't understand.
I was just muttering, actually. So let's sort of move on a bit. But just for those of you who aren't totally on top of what's going on with NOMOS, all the movements are in-house. And so it's definitely a remarkable brand for the fact that they have in-house movements at a really great price point. In U.S. dollars, if that's in your head, what's the range of the core in terms of prices, Martina?
In terms of prices, the steel collection starts at 1,500, the Club Campus hand-wound, and goes up to 6,100, Zurich World Timer, our GMT watch.
Mm-hmm. And there's some gold.
Okay, we're not talking about the gold pieces now. There is a small collection of gold pieces with very special movements that start, I guess, at 12,000, Lambda and Lux. And it's quite good to see here now. You see the individual number on the case, the registration number, and you see also the individual number on the movement here, on the left side of the rotor.
And it's a very good number, I might add. So, okay, let's sort of move on and talk about some of the other notable characteristics of the brand. And I've been sort of thinking about it while we're getting ready for this. And so, very design conscious, obviously. What is the design philosophy, Martina, that drives this company?
Yeah, to keep it short and simple, I would say form follows function. But yeah, Nomos is known for his slender watches with a very slim bezel, showing as much as possible of the dial, um, slender lugs. What we see here now, the next few seconds is, yeah, I would say the flagship and bestseller model family of the collection is Tangente, very slender bezel and the Bauhaus-like numerals. So Bauhaus is a design movement. Yeah, internationally, it's also called modernism. So which started in the early days of the last century, in the 1920s. I would say it was the highest time. And we all know a modernist architecture or furniture like a Barcelona chair from Mies van der Rohe, or yeah, you have beautiful Bauhaus architecture in the States as well. These shoe carton-like houses, very minimalistic. So that's the design philosophy we are following. Of course, always in harmony with watchmaking. But when you look at the Tangente update here, where the date is displayed between the two red bars in these little windows going along the minuterie, this is also, we look, by the way, a patented way of showing the date. We looked for a way to show the date without disturbing the minimalistic design language of Tangente, and came up with this idea where you can kind of look into the movement exactly. Between these two red bars, you can see the date. So it goes from the first above the 12th around the minuterie to the 31st.
So it's very interesting, and it's a two-way date. You can go backwards as well as forward.
Exactly.
Very creative, and also to me a little bit quirky. That in the simplicity and purity of your designs, there's often an element like that that's really surprising and unique. So that would be the other thing, a very independent thinking brand. Nobody else is doing these little things like this.
It's not only in the design, this independent thinking out of the box. It's also in our horological inventions and patents. When you allow me to share a screen again, I can show you in just a few seconds the two interesting functions of the neomatic date movement. So the quick set back and forth, which is quite rare in the horological world, especially in our price range, and the interesting way to change the date. Just a sec.
Yeah, you have it. Go ahead.
Can you see it, Steve?
Now I do. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so I start.
Go ahead.
So this funny little star wheel is responsible for changing the date in both directions. And this very small date wheel with this hook is a great invention, also patented in the meanwhile, because this program disc pushes the hook out only with every fourth turn to change the date. That makes the date change process very quick, and this shrinks the danger zone around midnight, where you shouldn't interfere with your watch not to damage it, down to only half an hour. That's also a patented mechanism.
Very neat. So
okay.
I'll see if I can show that date change. I'm going to switch over to the watch and show people how that goes.
So I'll stop sharing. Okay.
Yep. Okay. trying to get this in focus.
And I'm back.
Yep. So. Okay, there you go. You saw the date change forward, and then we can go backwards also and forward. Okay.
No. You're changing the time. It's the first crown position.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just
okay. Yeah.
push it back. Push it back completely,
sorry.
And then
Yeah.
you
you
don't need to do that.
Yeah.
That's why our engineers invented this.
for hopeless people like me. Okay.
Just push the crown completely inside.
Uh-huh.
And then the crown back to the case.
Okay.
And then the first position is changing the date. Now
Right.
you see the red bars moving.
Yeah.
And you can move it in both directions, back and forth.
Yeah.
We also call it our little roller coaster.
It's a very cool thing. So we had a question back here about the 175 39 millimeter. Someone asked about what's the power reserve on that. Do you know that offhand?
It's 42 hours.
42 hours. All of those are that in that series?
Sorry?
All of the pieces are 42?
All of it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So really neat little feature. This is a beautiful watch. And let's bring up something else. So we're talking about being a little out of the box. And let's take a look at this guy. And I got to focus, and then we'll bring you over. Okay, so I've got up one of their ladies' watches. It's the Tetra family, and I have a hard time describing what the color is of this dial, but it's the kind of thing that NOMOS does. A very simple design. It's either element like we just saw for the time change, or a color that is really unique. I mean, you don't have a name for that. And are you seeing that, Martina?
Which one is it? It's from the latest.
Yeah, the Tetra.
From the latest launch. It's from the Beethoven.
Yeah, that series.
Set.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So they do things like this. They have some interesting palettes on some of these watches, and some are really pretty wild. They have an orange dial, a reddish orange, the signal wrote, and again, very interesting. So classic design and out-of-the-box elements, sometimes daring colors. Like we call the brand sometimes a little bit quirky. It'll do things that are...
As an independent manufacturer, we can afford. And lucky us, we have quite a lot of ladies wearing NOMOS watches and don't mind to wind them, because
right.
what you see here is equipped with a alpha hand winding caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Tetra, by the way, is one of the rare real squares in the industry. So it's not a rectangle; it's a geometrical square. And when you look at the lugs, these double Art Deco-like lugs are also a very nice feature, also known from the era beginning of the last century. Yeah, here you see the beautiful movement alpha with its typical 3/4 plate. Here you see a typical feature for Glashütte watchmaking. 3/4 of the movement are covered by one plate, and you can, that's really nice to see, the beautiful sunburst on the ratchet wheel is also a very typical Glashütte feature. Of course, the tempered blue screws and the relatively large balance and the very soft stopwork on the ratchet wheel, quite a much longer arm than in most of the mechanical movements. Yeah, that's typical Glashütte watchmaking, even in the, I would say, the simplest movement we have, and beautifully decorated.
So, by the way, my wife wears one of these tetras, different color, but she's had her choice and gone through a lot of watches, as you might imagine. And this is the one that has come to live on her wrist daily. And as a manual wind, I really thought that there was no way that she would tolerate it. But in fact, she enjoys engaging with the watch every day. So there you are.
It does something to you. That's
right. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay, good. So what, someone has a question. Does NOMOS make any watches without the small seconds subdial?
Indeed, we did last year for Basel World. We introduced our series Duo. It was a series of 33 millimeter ladies' watches without a sub-second dial. It was Tangente, Ludwig, and Orion, and with steel cases, but gold-plated details like the hands and the indices, or the printing on the dial, depending on the model. And these were the only watches without a sub-second dial.
Ah, okay. So any in the future, or is that pretty much something that's ingrained in the DNA and it's just going to stay that way?
Actually, I don't see that the next few years. Duo was an interesting move in the entry level price segment, hand winding and with even one function less. So they were really nicely priced. But no, I don't think we will see a watch without a sub-second dial in next years.
In a little while. Okay. So here's an interesting piece. Now, NOMOS really does well with competitions, doesn't it? It wins prizes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's one of the few fine watch brands that seem to win prizes that are not only for watches in particular, but for design in general.
That's true.
Yeah, and so it's a testament to their adherence to their beautiful design aesthetic. But so here's something that went off the rails a little bit, I think. This is their Autobahn watch, which I think probably shocked some NOMOS purists when it came out. But it has garnered more than its share of awards in the German design and watch industry. Is that correct?
So, whereas Tangente Update, which we saw before, won the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève, so the watch Oscar in Switzerland, Autobahn won various design prizes all over the world. I think it was a Red Dot best, then it was Best of the Best, then it was also we had. I have to check if it was good design or if it was one of the big American design prizes.
Mm-hmm.
And Autobahn is special. Yeah, some of the purists said, "Oh my God, what's that?"
Right.
But the designer we worked together with, Werner Eislinger, his task was to show this beautiful new neomatic date movement. You see, and he did this with the 3-day date window. By the way, same movement, DUW 6101, like in Tangente Update, like in the Ludwig 41 millimeter 175.
Mm-hmm.
And since we had already a sporty watch for water, at that time it was Ahoy, we thought this could be maybe more for the land.
And I have to replug. Are you telling people we're working it out? Okay. Oh, no, I'm problem solving with you. Testing the mic. Okay. Oh, thank you. Did the voice come through? Yeah. Right. Testing, mic. Testing. I'm hearing it through the headphones. Oh, that's because the mic is going into the Roland, which is no longer plugged into the video. Yeah. You told me. It's I plugged the just like you said, the main camera into the video. Well, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it now. Really? How's that happening? Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. All right. Let me do it. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'll put the phone down. Yep. Be patient.